Hello, ho ho ho, welcome to Never Seen It, a podcast about movies that we haven't seen yet. I'm your host today. As always, I am Betsy, and with me, my co-host, my love, my husband, it's Trent.
Hey, hey.
Today we are doing our third in our series of holiday Christmas movies. We don't have a snappy name for this series as we did our Halloween ones.
Nope.
We are going back to the theater to watch Violent Night.
Betsy, we have been excited to watch this movie ever since it was announced that it was going to be a thing.
I believe when they first started the press, like this fall, when there was a poster of David Harbour with the fucking candy cane.
And like blood coming out of his mouth or something.
I don't know what it is, but it's David Harbour.
Is that David Harbour?
It's David Harbour. He's Santa Claus. I don't care. I'm on board.
It says violent. I can't be bored with a concept like this.
No, so on the surface level, that's all it took for us to get on board. But obviously, Trent, there's more to it than that. We've since that time seen a trailer or two. We've seen the commercials, heard the buzz. What do you know about Violent Night?
Jesus Christ. It's David Harbour, like I said. He is Santa Claus. He's not playing like a mall Santa or anything like that.
No, he is the Santa.
The canonical Santa Claus. And I guess some shit goes down on Christmas night, Christmas Eve, whatever. And John Leguizamo's there. I think he's like a crime guy.
My understanding from the trailer is there's a bunch of bad guys in this kid's house. And the kid has to call Santa for help, and Santa intervenes.
Santa answers the call.
Well, yeah, I think there's like a magic walkie-talkie.
I don't know. I don't remember anything about the trailer, Betsy, other than the fact that there is like carnage and death, maybe, and...
My assumption is this is kind of like Die Hard, where he just happens to be there when shit goes down, and so he takes it upon himself to handle the situation.
To remedy the situation.
Right. And of course, Santa's on a tight schedule, and this guy has a very stressful job, and he does not have time for people on the naughty list.
Yeah, and just the idea that we are going to go to the theater and watch a Christmas movie for this show, for this particular series of all things, because, hey, there are a ton of Christmas movies out there that we could cover, but damn it, when we see something like this, the concept just speaks to us. I mean, hell, we're having so much fun watching like these old 80s and 90s action movies.
Stupid action movies.
And we love John Wick, and it's just gotten into our bones that if you see something like this, I don't care if the critics don't really like it all that much. We love David Harbour at the very least. So I want to go to the theater to support that man.
And a few years ago, David Harbour hosted SNL, and he did, this was around the time The Joker came out.
The Joker was in theaters or was like talked about a lot.
And they had this gritty reboot.
It was a skit, a pre-recorded skit.
Basically, it was a joke about the gritty reboot of Joker, but this was a gritty reboot of Oscar the Grouch.
Sesame Street.
It was the origin story of how Oscar became Oscar the Grouch. Right. And he is playing Oscar the Grouch. This is a great bit. Look it up.
Google it. You'll have the time of your life. It's fucking awesome.
But the best part is it was his fucking idea.
Yeah.
This is his brain. This is who this man is. I also have heard just other stories. Like there was somebody who wanted David Harbour to take senior photos with them.
Yes.
And
with his like instrument.
He said, I'll do it, but only if I get to hold the trombone. And he was a man of his word, and he's in this kid's fucking senior photos holding a trombone wearing the school sweatshirt. It is the dumbest fucking thing. I love it so much. And so you get David Harbour and you tell him, hello, this person who you know these things about, would you like to play Santa? But Santa kicks ass.
So where do I sign?
Where do I sign?
And what I worry about here is that, of course, we don't really know anything about the quality of the movie. What I worry about is David Harbour is on the verge of maybe becoming a really, really big deal outside of the Stranger Things thing. I know he's really popular because of that show.
But that's one
We
little
knew
thing.
him before that.
We did.
We knew about him a decade ago when he started on The Newsroom.
Yeah, we knew him as that guy from the newsroom.
The other anchor from the newsroom.
He's so young in
what
that.
I'm afraid of is that he's going to start saying yes to a lot of different things, and he's going to stretch himself thin, and he's going to say yes to a lot of bad things.
So you're concerned this is one of those bad things?
David Harbour needs to be a leading man, goddammit.
Well, there's only one way to find out. Do you know anything else about this movie?
Hell no, let's go and watch it.
All right, then we're gonna find out if he has stretched himself too thin, or this is the greatest thing since candy canes.
Candy canes aren't that great.
Shut up. We're gonna go watch Violent Night, and we will be right back. And we're back. Trent, that was Violent Night.
Yes, it was.
How do you feel about this one?
Is that Christmas cheer coming out of your eye? I can't tell. It was amazing. That was ridiculous. I loved every minute of it. End of story.
End of episode. Good night, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, what else can you say about it? It was amazing because they just went for it.
Right.
At every turn, when they said, okay, how can we make this awesome? They went there.
What you see in the trailer is exactly what you're going to get, and then some.
And then some, yeah. There's a lot more than just that because they just decide, okay, I remember watching old Christmas movies where there's a family and there's robbers and like bad guys, and the bad guys are going to get their comeuppance. Just think about Home Alone. And you got Home Alone all over this movie. And you've also got like tinges of like John Wick, and you even said it in the intro, Die Hard.
Yes,
yeah.
they're not shy about the fact that they are drawing a lot of inspiration from both Die Hard and Home Alone.
And they took those cutesy movies and just went full rated R.
Would we call Die Hard a cutesy movie?
No.
I mean, comparatively speaking, you can get away with a lot more in this movie than they did in Die Hard days.
Of course, but that's not what we're talking about. I'm saying in Home Alone, yeah, those guys died plenty of times, but because it's a PG kids movie, you're not going to do that. But in this, they let him go all the way. And those guys died.
I appreciate that in this one, the little girl watches Home Alone for the first time because as a kid now, that is an experience she's having for the first time.
I love that concept of a kid that age in this day and age, watching Home Alone for the first time and loving it.
And and it's what now, 30 some years old, just over?
Yeah.
And that's amazing. And when they go full Home Alone, there's real violence and consequences to those actions.
Yeah.
So it's like, so you remember Home Alone and how they survived everything Kevin put them through? No, this is going to be really horrific.
A bowling ball hits you in the head, that's going to kill you.
Multiple bowling balls and nails and just really terrible things.
They even got the vibe of
music.
Home Alone, the music, the score that goes along with all those scenes. Spot on.
It's very inspired by the John Williams score from Home Alone. That kind of cutesy, like mischievous.
Yeah.
Do.
You put a fucking Bryan Adams Christmas song in that scene of him in the dark with his hammer.
Yes, there's a lot of good use of Christmas songs throughout the movie, but that one is the one that's just like, yes, chef's kiss. Mwah!
Well, what did you think about just the overall?
I am full of the Christmas spirit, as you said. And They give him like a little context, so it's almost like an origin story for Santa. We get a little bit of background of what his life, tiny bit, or at least to explain why he is able to do what he's able to do in this movie.
Okay, fine.
They give it some context. They also set him up as this angry, cynical, I'm just gonna hang it up because nobody believes in me anymore. This might be my
last year. I'm just gonna steal people's beer and be drunk and puke out of my sleigh.
Yeah, they set it up right at the beginning that this is an older, more grizzled Santa Claus.
Uh-huh. A lot more cynical about the world and life in general.
But despite the...
He's very much kids today.
Despite the chaos that then ensues, there is still like the magic of Christmas. And the little Christmas
twinkle
spirit.
Is still in his eye.
The little girl brings him back, and he remembers why he loves doing this.
Yeah.
After murdering a lot of guys. But yeah, I had a great time. It is exactly as advertised. I understand why the critic score is lower. Like, is this a perfect movie? No. There are definitely things that I would like tighten or change.
Yeah.
But nothing was bad about it. It was just over the top for the sake of being over the top.
Yeah.
And they weren't kidding when that's what they said they were gonna make. Like, you can't be surprised when that's what you're given.
Yeah. Like I said, they completely went for it. They knew it was gonna be stupid. They knew it was going to be very violent and like cartoonishly violent. And I don't care. I do not care. This was fun. I had such a good time.
I was thinking about it. I don't think you and I have ever gone to, number one, a Christmas movie in the theater.
Never.
I also don't think we've done too many of these action type of movies.
In the theater? We haven't. No, not in the theater.
I don't think so, because like the John Wick experience, we've missed the boat a little bit.
Yeah, we've only ever gotten the John Wick movies on disc when we watch them at home.
We've watched those at homes.
Yeah.
And we just aren't really drawn to most action movies in general. And this is like a very specific kind of action movie. Like, there's a lot of movies out there that are just too serious. Like, they're serious action movies. And those aren't fun. I want some bullshit like this movie.
Yes.
This was awesome because it's like, it's Santa and he fucks shit up. Why won't you love this?
And even all the villains are, again, cartoonishly evil.
Oh, I love that this movie's predictable. Like, you can predict some of the things that we're having.
Of course.
Maybe not every beat, but we show up at this house. There's a mom and a dad and a little girl, and mom and dad are separated. And all the little girl wants is for mom and dad to get back together for Christmas so they could be a family again.
She doesn't want any presents.
Nope.
The only thing she wants is her mommy and daddy to get back together.
And mom has agreed to go with them as a family to grandma's house, and it's his mom, and she's a rich bitch, and his sister is terrible, and her boyfriend is terrible, and her son is terrible.
You know, it's a very much a cliche, hey, this rich family is terrible.
Yes.
But in the end, they're still a family.
Yes.
Yeah.
They have moments of family bonding.
Barely.
Barely. But the mom is Beverly D'Angelo, which I didn't know she was in this movie.
No, not at all. And she doesn't look like Beverly D'Angelo anymore.
No, add 30 years, a little surgery maybe, and then
a lot of surgery.
Several packs of cigarettes a day. She has a way huskier voice than I remember.
Yeah, and she was great. I mean, I figured they were going to get maybe somebody for that role, and I didn't know who that was until the credits.
I knew I recognized her, but I was going to have to look her up, so I'm glad you said, oh, it's Beverly D'Angelo when you saw her name in the credits. So it totally makes sense. But yeah, she is a crazy bitch who was like screaming at a senator on the phone about calling him a cocksucker and stuff. And this is where we are, and she's got like caterers, and I figured right away, I was like, those don't look like caterers.
There are way too many guards here to really make that make sense. I know you got a lot of money. You don't need that many guards.
Well, and then they have all these caterers who don't look like caterers. You have an angry candy cane wearing bartender who doesn't know how to cut the fruit in the right direction or whatever.
Sure.
You've got like dudes with the wrong hair and the wrong look, and they just don't look like they want to be here. And I was like, this isn't a catering company. I already know that these people
going to be the ones to betray them.
Are not who they say they are.
All right.
That's why they call out, you're a terrible catering company. Yeah, because they're not a catering company.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like, all right, this is setting up. They're already in the building. They already know what's going on.
And they have this contrived story about the fact that they have a vault with, $300 million?
In cash.
In just cash that was stolen from... So her company...
The nameless,
was
faceless
hired,
company.
The company, quote unquote, was hired by the U.S. government to, grease the wheels in the Middle East, quote unquote.
Yeah, basically to... fund terrorism, it kind of sounded like?
No, it was moreover we're going to grease the wheels so that you don't commit terrorism.
I really didn't understand why she was involved.
Doesn't matter.
No, and the only reason she's on the phone with the senator is to demonstrate she has government ties.
I guess, but I think what they're trying to say here is she's really rich, but she's also terrible.
Yes.
Again, they even John Leguizamo, the big bad in this movie, says, in the fog of war, $300 million just up and disappears. And unfortunately, that actually does happen a lot in the U.S. government and in the military in particular.
Yeah, they're trying to move things around and shit happens.
Oh, yeah.
And who's going to know the difference if somebody pockets it or somebody loses it or gives it to the wrong person or what?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the whole plot is she's got $300 million in cash in her vault in the basement. And this group of people... We don't know who they're. This gang, these heist people are going to break into the house on Christmas and get the money out of the vault.
Yeah.
So again, this is where it's like the Die Hard thing. We know where it is. We're going to hold you hostage. Mm-hmm. We're going to kill all of the security guards so you have no protection. And it's just like the 6 or 7 members of the family and a bunch of goons.
Yeah.
And Santa Claus. So he just happens to be in the house at the right time. It's the John McClane thing where he didn't mean to be here, but now he's here, so I guess he's
involved. And he's
got
some skills.
Yes.
He has a particular set of skills.
And he's going to use them.
Yep.
So that's a very loosey-goosey sort of a plot. And because you've got this grumpy old Santa who doesn't want to be there. They have this long sequence at the beginning where they show him in England.
Yeah, he's at a pub on a break.
And then he comes to America because, time differences. He's got a long way to go. And they show him there's a bad dad, so he steals his beer and leaves him a lump of coal. And he's just going around judging people's milk and cookies. And he's just oh, this whole thing sucks. It sucks. But when he gets to this house, he's like, homemade cookies. Pockets a candy cane for later. He's not so thrilled about the 1% milk, but it is what it is.
Yeah, and they're in Greenwich, Connecticut, which if you do not know, Greenwich, Connecticut is a bunch of fucking rich assholes who are transplants from New York City.
So Connecticut.
Yes.
It's a small state. It's probably 12 houses.
Sure. But we have the scene of the mom and the dad and the kid in the car, and they're driving a Volvo, which right there, of the rich people right there. You drive a Volvo, you got a lot of money. Anyway, they got the scene of the kid in the car talking about Home Alone, and you can tell they don't really come out and say it, the fact that these two are separated. And the mom is very much not really wanting to do this thing, but they're doing it for the kids.
She doesn't want to go to Christmas with the rich snobs.
Yeah.
She's sick of the bullshit.
Yeah.
And of course, we find out through the course of the movie that he works for the family business.
Yeah.
And mom is kind of I say jump, you say how high. Yeah. And it tore them apart.
Yep.
And she got sick of it, so she left. But his whole thing is, what if we could be together? What if,
what if I could stop working?
What if I could leave this company? We forget mom, we forget this, and we just go together as a family. But of course, later in the movie, he reveals his plan is to steal the money.
Yeah, so he's terrible too.
So he is terrible while trying to not be terrible.
Right.
I hated that element of it where he was I was going to take it and then leave mom a note. And I figured, like, when she read the note and we didn't know what was in it, we were going to find out later what was in the note.
Because if she actually did say what was in the note, then everybody would have known in the room.
That's right. Yeah. So it's kind of like we're supposed to root for this guy. We're supposed to like this guy. And then we find out that he's kind of just like everybody else, even though his motivation is different. His plan was still, I have to have money, and so I'm gonna steal it. As opposed to, dude, you don't need money.
You don't need to have that much money in order to have a life with your family.
No, you'll figure out a way to make it work. If you actually are as high-powered a businessman as you seem to suggest, even though we don't know what you do. Then you can get a job at some other company.
Well, this also really seems like he is like fucking trust fund baby.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Trust fund baby mama's boy, whatever.
And of course, the sister is just awful.
And her son is awful. Little shit with a gold chain live streaming fucking everything.
Influencer.
#blessed.
Yeah, the rich kid influencer type. God damn it.
I loved when Grandma said, I begged you to beat him as a child.
And the sister shows up and calls her brother a limp dick.
Yeah.
It's like, hi, sis, nice to see you too.
Hey, limp dick.
What the fuck?
Well, and when she sees his wife or his ex-wife, whatever, they don't really clarify what's going on.
They don't. I think they're just separated.
But she's like, oh, you gained weight. It looks great on you, though.
No, thanks.
Thank you.
Jeez.
And she's dating some piece of shit action star wannabe.
Yeah.
Who the first second he can jumps out a window and escapes.
I think maybe he knows that the rescue team is on their way, and maybe he's just gonna go out there to save himself and just be with them. But in fact, the rescue team is not there to rescue them.
No, so everybody is a bad guy.
Yeah.
All the good guys die pretty much right away. Like even the friendly gate guard that we meet at the beginning of the movie. He gets shot in the head very unceremoniously by John Leguizamo.
John Leguizamo. He was really good in this.
He's a good villain, and he knows his part. This is the thing. John Leguizamo is another one of those guys that is a really good character actor, but can also do drama. And this is kind of that perfect balance where it's like you can't be completely serious, but you have to be serious enough that people believe you mean what you say.
Exactly. You have to buy it from him, and you do.
Yeah, you can't be a joke. He shows up and he's like, I'm Mr. Scrooge. They all have fucking nicknames.
Right.
They're code names for the radio.
Fucking
it's like
Krampus.
Peppermint and Jingle and Kringle and Tinsel.
And Krampus is ready to fuck shit up.
Yeah. That asshole. He was funny, though. He's there specifically to be funny. So you've got all these people who are clearly not caterers, who have stupid nicknames.
Yeah.
And at the beginning, it's going their way. But then, of course, like John McClane in Die Hard, Santa starts taking them out one by one. He throws one out a window. He
gets impaled.
He gets impaled. He attacks a guy with his magic bag and pulling, like, I loved that scene. He's like, video game, poetry book. And then he has like a golf club or something.
I don't know what that was.
I think he had a golf club at one point, but it's all wrapped in the same wrapping paper.
And I love in different fictions where the present bag, has different properties. Like, I always think about the Santa Claus. Mm-hmm. And like it is like this infinite void of presents, and you can just pull whatever it is out, and it'll be whatever that
like
present happens to be.
Like he pulls out a kayak. Yeah, and that's what it is. He's like, and throughout this movie, he keeps saying Christmas magic. I don't really know how it works. He just reaches in and a present comes out. He doesn't know what it's gonna be. It's whatever the kid wished it to be. Like he pulls out a Blu-ray of Die Hard. And yet, like,
it's just way too on the nose.
And then he has just a number of fights with different people where it's the use of the environment we are in. So he gets strangled by Christmas lights, and he beats somebody with a sack full of pool balls.
Yeah, they're in the game room, and there's all sorts of stuff that you can do with the game room. He throws them on top of the pinball table. He takes the pool balls, puts them into a stocking, beats the shit out of him with the stocking full of pool balls.
Then he starts smashing ornaments into his head, but when that doesn't work, he takes the star from that would be on the top of the tree and then impales him into the eyeball
after
plugs it in.
After getting stabbed by all of these darts from the dartboard.
Yeah.
And he plugs in the star and his hair catches on fire and his face catches on fire. And they linger on that for a little bit too long, but it was fucking hilarious.
Yeah, and I'm just to kind of talk about more of those like prop things. There's so many. Like he stabs a guy somebody gets stabbed with an icicle at one point.
Yep.
He stabs a guy with the candy cane. He's sitting there eating a candy cane.
Well, he's sucking on it to make it a point.
And he makes a point and he like violently stabs people.
Because of course that's what you do when you're a kid.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, you do. Oh, what else? He has a pair of ice skates and he slices people and decapitates somebody with it. He turns on a snowblower and then ties them up and throws the rope in and they get pulled in
all the
and
way
smooshed up.
Yeah.
Oh God, what else? There's just a number of things. There's a lot of props with like the presents. His sleigh disappears, so he doesn't have his sleigh. He is abandoned by the reindeer to fend for himself.
Well, and the reindeer do come in useful at the very, very end.
At the end, but up until then, he's very upset with them.
He's berating them as, you motherfuckers, you ran away without me. Oh, you went back home and got my spare bag? You guys are awesome, thanks.
Oh, I can't stay mad at you.
And of course, Mrs. Claus sends along the way his favorite hammer.
Yeah, so there's the
is
background.
Santa Claus Thor?
The background story that we get is that his name was like Nickmund or something.
Yeah, like,
and he's like a violent Viking warrior.
I think that's kind of what the implication is. He was a Viking.
Yes, and his favorite weapon was Skull Crusher, the hammer.
Right.
And he could wield it like a precision instrument.
Like Mjolnir.
So yes, you're right. There is a little implication that he could also be Thor to some weird extent.
I also love his tattoos.
Yes.
They're all like snowflakes
like
and like
Nordic and Celtic and just that kind of ancient rune symbolism.
Yes.
And yeah, he takes off his shirt and he's covered in tattoos.
And I know it's just David Harbour, but I love that Santa's just kind of a chubby guy.
He's
and of
got
course,
a little belly.
All he eats is cookies and milk, so of course that's gonna make you a little chubby.
He drinks
he
so
drinks so much.
Like when he shows up to their house and he's like pouring out the milk into the ice bucket and he goes straight to the bar and he pulls something. He's like, yeah, that's some pre-war shit.
like some fucking whiskey from the 1930s or something. He's like, that's some good shit.
90-year whiskey. And he's sitting in a massage chair falling asleep.
He did fall asleep.
He did. But yes, going back to the hammer, he was a warrior. And so his weapon of choice was Skull Crusher. And there's a point in this movie where he ends up in the tool shed, and finds a sledgehammer, which he then, rallies about with for the rest of the movie.
Indeed.
But yeah, what's that fucking song? I don't even remember how it goes. Something about Christmas.
Yeah, that was the Bryan Adams song that I mentioned. It's called Christmas Time, I guess.
Something about Christmas time. Yeah. We don't have the rights for this song. But they used it. It's just this great sequence. It was a perfect moment.
It was a perfect use of that song. Of course, all the things happening on screen are completely violent and just does not go with what the song is about. And yeah, that's why it's funny.
That's why it's funny. And this scene, of course, is shot kind of half in the dark, which leads me to believe this is mostly a stunt double.
Well, of course it is.
But I didn't care. Like, they edited it very well so that I'm just like, no, it's all good. It's fine. So yeah, this movie has a very thin context to give you a plot. But it's just so funny and over the top, and yeah, it gets really violent. Like, they literally make a joke at the beginning. John Leguizamo was like, it's gonna be a violent night.
Yeah, he's singing the song. He's like, yeah, dude, it's gonna be that way. Whereas, there's a pool of blood over there behind him.
And of course, John Leguizamo gives us his tragic backstory.
About Christmas.
And how when he was little, he believed in Santa and he believed in this and the spirit of Christmas and the magic of Christmas time.
But this tragic thing happened to him and his dad. mad.
His dad got laid off and there was no Christmas. And so I went next door to steal all the presents. But the old grandpa woke up and he fell down the stairs. Maybe I pushed him. I don't know. Nobody believed me. And so I just vowed from that day to bring down Christmas.
Yeah. And I love their final battle of them on the ice together. Like all of this fire around them. It looked really cool. And just them just battling it out. Him with the hammer and the other guy with the stuff from the shed, I guess.
Well, and up to this point, they don't know exactly what's going on in this house. Like, all the bad guys know there's somebody fucking up their shed. Then they see him on camera and they say there's a guy dressed as Santa Claus.
Yeah.
So, of course, everybody being the practical adults they are, say it's just some guy. We don't know who he is.
Well, they say, you hired a Santa for this event, didn't you?
Who is he? Is he some security guard?
But no, Grandma said, no, I wouldn't ever hire a Santa because it's tacky.
It's tacky. And then throughout the movie, there's just little hints where, like, they have the bag and they don't understand the bag.
Right.
So they burn the bag. And he's just like, that was full of children's dreams. and the little girl's in the attic, so she drops fake snow, like styrofoam, through the air vent. Right. And they're so distracted by the snow.
He's able to wriggle free.
He wriggles
and
free.
use his little nose trick to go up the chimney.
Yep. And one of the guys sees him go up the chimney. Yeah. And all of a sudden, they're like, maybe he's the real Santa.
They start breaking.
And just the slow realization where the adults in the room start to believe it because they can't otherwise explain the things that they are seeing. But he's such a miserable shit that he refuses to believe that is true. He's like, no, he had some elaborate pulley system and that's how he got up there.
No, you can't go up there. And sure enough, they prove that at the very end of the movie. At the final end of their battle, he grabs him, uses his nose trick to go all the way up the chimney that isn't attached to anything else, and he's all folded up together, and he falls to the ground with no head.
Yeah, because he's not magic. He has a physical being, and he goes up that chimney that he doesn't fit through. And then Santa appears at the top just holding a mass.
And then just this blood fountain comes out of him because, oh, God.
Yeah, they go really far for some of this stuff. Like, he's in that battle, he's got like a, what do you call that thing? It's when you're ice climbing, mountain climbing, one of those hooks.
Yeah. It's a climbing hook.
A climbing hook.
Sure.
So he like stabs his hand into this chimney with it.
Right.
And he rips his hand out. It's just like, God. And then like earlier in the movie, the Home Alone sequence, the little girl she gets away into the attic. And she's like, I could set up booby traps like Home Alone. So she has like a welcome mat with a bunch of nails and shit. And then the ladder down to the attic, she's got it opened up.
Yeah.
And the guy Bjorn, he says, booby traps only work
if you hide it. Well, yeah, because he sees the one nail on the step going up to the attic.
And all the nails on the floor.
And all the nails on the floor, of course. But what he doesn't see is that she sawed somehow one of the steps so that when he tries to go up the stairs, he slips down through the broken step. And he gets his chin impaled by the nail. Oh, that was the fucking worst.
And then when he breaks loose, she's dropping bowling balls.
Yeah.
And one knocks him down and he lands on all the nails.
Yep.
And then he has to pull one out of his ass and is examining it.
He's just looking at it as another bowling ball comes down the thing.
You know what's coming. You know what's going to happen when he holds that nail up in front of his head to examine it. It gets hammered into his skull with a bowling ball.
Because of course, and then he falls back down onto the spikes again.
And the girl upstairs is like getting knocked down by the bowling balls but dodges it, and like there's cinder blocks on a rope and she manages to dodge those. So again, we're getting those like stupid Home Alone things that don't really seem like they'd work. But when she finally falls, she like smashes the back of her head open.
Yeah.
Which again, that's what really would happen if you were to be under these
she's
conditions.
also getting stuck by this glue trap. I don't even know what the hell that stuff was.
Who keeps all this crap in the attic?
Rich guys.
I think we should just make a plan to put strategic materials in we don't have an attic, but we have a above garage crawl space.
There is an attic up there. It's not very accessible.
Let's put a bunch of like glue and bowling balls and nails and a saw. We need Home Alone materials in the attic at all times because you never know when you're going to need them. So this little girl is about to win, but then she gets a gun in her face.
Yeah.
So Santa has to come and finish the job. But that whole sequence, like we mentioned, has this jaunty, like Home Alone inspired musical cue.
Yeah.
It's just beautifully done. It's so stupid and wonderful. And then Santa shows up and they have this magical moment where she's like, I knew you were real. My dad said you weren't, but I knew you were real.
No, Santa's just something that adults make up to make children happy.
To make them feel better.
Yeah.
But he proves time and time again, like he knows everybody's names. He pulls gifts out of the bag and gives them exactly what they want. He knows what they wanted for Christmas in 1982.
I got you that Huffy in 1982.
That you wrote me about 50 times. And he knows all their names, even though they're using code names. He has his naughty list. I loved the naughty and the nice list.
And it's all contextual to what he's looking at.
Yeah, he's just got this scroll where he just kind of pops it open.
Yeah.
And it has the name of who he's talking to or looking at.
And whether
it says
naughty or nice.
Why they were nice or why they are naughty.
Right. I loved all the little bits of text on that scroll to tell you what they did to make them good or bad.
Yeah, so she's the only one they ever show who's on the nice list. Yeah. And it's like, listens to her parents, goes to bed on time.
Makes her bed.
She's on the nice list. And everybody else is like, killed their best friend, larceny.
Hates Christmas.
That
was on the John Leguizamo one.
I didn't even see that, but that's awesome.
Hates Christmas. That was on there.
And it takes that. It takes him looking at the actual naughty list and seeing his own name to understand this is the real Santa.
Yep.
And instead of accepting it, he takes it as an opportunity to end Christmas once and for all.
That's right. Christmas ends tonight.
You know, a part of me thought, is this going to end in like one of those weird redemption ways where Santa is actually going to die, but he sees the error of his ways and he becomes Santa? Because there's this whole story about how before he was Santa, he was the worst of the worst.
Yeah.
And we don't know why he became Santa or how. They don't give us that much.
Maybe in the sequel.
But he was this really bad guy who now gets joy by bringing the good little girls and boys. And they say it like he doesn't give presents to everybody.
Yeah, just the ones who need it.
That need it and who still believe in him.
Yeah.
So it's a short list. You got to make his list, and it's shrunk, so it's an exclusive club. But he says he was this bad guy. So in this situation, if John Leguizamo had really accepted that he is in fact Santa Claus and he really wants to stop being Santa, well, there you go. You've got this really bad guy who could become Santa. And we don't know the rules. Maybe this is a Santa Claus situation where if you kill Santa, you become Santa.
Well, we'll never know, Betsy.
We'll never know because fortunately for us, John Leguizamo went up a chimney and he is not going to be Santa. David Harbour survives and he gets to go on delivering Christmas presents in his jolly, jolly way with his man bun and tattoos.
I love how he put it up into a man bun. For his fight scene.
He's got such a great look in this. Like, you almost don't know it's David Harbour. Like, if you did not know that was David Harbour, I would believe that you'd just be like, I have no idea who that is.
And I tell you what, this movie just solidifies our love of David Harbour because he is just game for whatever it is. You want me to do this? Fine. I'm going to say this in the best way I possibly can.
He's cursing and bloody and just swearing, and he pukes on a lady at the beginning of the movie from his sleigh. Like, it's this great opening where he's drinking in a bar, he goes up to the roof, and the bartender is like, that's the stairs to the roof, he can't go up there, and she sees the magical sleigh as he's flying away, and she has this look.
This sweet moment, it was like, oh my gosh.
Santa's real! Magic!
Real,
Christmas!
Puke!
On her!
And then we get this montage of him going through all these different scenes where there's one house with like, he doesn't like the fact that the gifts underneath the tree are just all Amazon boxes.
They're not even opened.
They didn't even wrap them. That's the thing. They didn't even wrap the presents.
They just got it in the mail and put it under the tree.
And then he's also flying over Washington, D.C. and just pissing on the Washington Mall.
Yeah, and he's sick of the commercialism of Christmas. He's disgusted by it, and nobody believes him, so why should he give a shit anymore?
Well, yeah, and there's that one scene where he like gives a gift to like a kid in a crib, and there's a guy passed out in his chair. That's where he steals the beer.
Yeah, and he gives him a lump of coal
right.
with his name on it. It's like wrapped in everything. He's gonna shove that coal right up their anuses.
Anuses. That's a technical term.
We don't want you to get on the naughty list.
Did I say butthole?
That's pushing it.
That's borderline.
We want you to stay on the nice list. Yeah, this movie is exactly what I think we expected it would be.
It's what I needed.
And it delivered.
It was exactly what I wanted it to be. It was just ridiculous enough to make me want more. And I'll say this, if this is successful, I fully expect there's going to be a sequel.
Oh, it's the kind of movie where I want a sequel, but I don't need a sequel.
No. I would accept one with open arms, though.
Can we just make David Harbour do this, but with all of the, like, mythical beings? Like, he could be the Easter Bunny in the next one.
No. No.
I want him to be this kind of a character all the time, but I don't necessarily need him to always be Santa.
No, I want the continuing adventures of Santa Claus, and it's going to be a different family and a different scenario. It doesn't have to be violent. Well, it's going to be violent.
It's going to be violent.
It's going to be violent. But I want it to be a completely different scenario, like the sequel to Knives Out. There's a lot of similarities between Knives Out and this movie, along with the terrible rich family who hates each other, and somebody dies, and there's, a lot of stuff happens in that movie that is very similar to this one, but you can just have the one continuation. It's just Santa Claus, just like it's just Daniel Craig's character.
Finding more joy and spreading Christmas magic. He doesn't know how it works. He's just there to do it.
It's a big world. There's a lot of Christmas cheer to be spread around.
And a lot of terrible people.
And a lot of terrible people. So I'm there for a sequel if and when they decide to do it.
Fair enough. Well, were there any other, like, quippy, stupid one-liners? This movie is full of, like, dumb lines. There's, like...
Well, when he's, like, talking to John Leguizamo on the walkie-talkie, he says, well, Santa Claus is coming to town. There's a lot of that kind of stuff. Along with one more near the end of the movie where he's done inside of this shed, like killing all these people in the dark. One guy, the tech guy, is outside, and the tech guy tries to run away. You know what I'm talking about. He trips and falls, and he's going to throw a grenade at Santa. But no, Santa grabs it first, sticks it underneath his shirt, and says, I got a stocking stuffer for you. He walks away, and he's going to be like, he's going to be walking or running away from the explosion, and he's like almost looking to the camera saying, I got to see this. I got to see this. I got to watch. He turns around as it blows up. Oh, God.
Yeah, it is exactly like somebody said the name of the movie. They use all of the one I didn't mention, the Nutcracker. They're like, well, it ain't called a finger cracker, and they're about to like crush a dude's balls. So there's a lot of the use of those, and like they beat Krampus to death with a bunch of
fireplace stuff,
and then they stab him when he's not dead. It's just all of the things you would expect. They use Christmas lights. There's Christmas music.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Mom and Dad get back together at the end of the movie, and they burn the money to keep Santa alive, and they all believe in Santa, and he's dead, but their belief brings him back. And they're like, but you were dead. Christmas magic, I don't know.
I don't know how it works. Again, it's just brushing all of that shit off. I don't care, though.
It ain't that kind of a movie. So, yeah, I think this is just... definitely worth your time if you guys like stupid action movies.
This is one I would definitely want to watch again.
Oh, yes.
This might have to be a staple of our Christmas.
We're going to add this to the rotation because it's just magic. It's so magic.
Again, like you said, mwah, chef's kiss. Perfect execution here. Literally. Ha ha.
Well, that's going to be it for Violent Night. We do have an email about our last Christmas movie, Gremlins, from our superfan, Stephanie. She says, I love a comedic horror Christmas movie. I love Krampus and Anna and the Apocalypse, which is also a musical. But Gremlins might be the first. I think I mentioned that we showed my nephew Nino his first horror movie back in October. While deciding what to watch, I showed him the trailer for Gremlins and he said it, quote, looked too old.
Wow.
Oh, children of today have high standards.
Yeah.
Wow. Granted, I was not yet born when it came out, but it still hurt. This is such a fun movie, and I love Gizmo. Furbies are knockoff Mogwai, for sure. That poor science teacher had no clue about science.
Of course not. He's a science teacher. He doesn't know shit.
But I'm sure he tried his hardest until he died.
What the fuck was he doing with that thing?
Science, Trent. We discussed this in the episode.
God damn it.
He was sciencing.
I feel like he was like another Walter White in Waiting.
Except maybe stupid.
Except, yeah, stupid. And like he's gonna try to experiment on this thing and extract its blood and do what? Do what? God damn it. Anyway.
I don't know. She continues, everyone should use more practical effects. Just better overall.
Indeed.
Anyway, super fun movie. Love, superfan Stephanie. Yeah, like this movie, they used, in Violent Night, they used practical effects for a lot of it. If they were using the animated effects, it was mostly the blood. There was a lot of fake blood, I think. But, like, they're really pushing bowling balls or something that looks like a bowling ball down the stairs. Maybe it doesn't weigh 10 pounds, but it looks like a bowling ball, and they're hurling it at the actor.
Indeed. Yeah, and, like, it's all of these, like, camera tricks. And just like in Gremlins, there's a lot of camera tricks in that movie that they transition from Gizmo being, like, a doll-looking type of thing into the puppet, and they would just replace them while the camera's looking away, or there's a strategic cut somewhere, and they're just really, really good at that, even back then.
And in this movie, like I said, they use a lot of shadow, and he's so covered in a costume that it's really easy to switch it out for another person.
Sure, and like you can barely tell that it is David Harbour if you didn't already know.
Which means you would barely know if they put a stunt double in there instead.
Right. And again, David Harbour is not a big name actor. It's only the people who seem to have watched Stranger Things who know who he is, and they only know him from one thing.
Or I guess he was in the Black Widow movie. That would be about the biggest thing he's done to date.
Oh, sure. He was in a Marvel movie, yes.
Yes, he was. But it was Black Widow, which, I mean, not the biggest of them.
No, you're right.
Well, that's going to be it for this episode. If you would like to be like superfan Stephanie and send us an email about Violent Night, Gremlins, any of our other holiday movies, or any of the movies that we have covered,
tell us your favorite holiday movie.
Beginning to now. There's a lot of holiday movies, guys. We only pick a few every year, but there's so many we could have chosen. Yeah. And there's new ones every year, hence us covering this one.
Yeah, and we have one more Sunday left to go, so...
We sure do. So email us, neverseenitpod@gmail.com. You can follow us on Facebook and Instagram, neverseenitpod1. We're also on Twitter, neverseenit_pod. You can support the show by clicking the link in the podcast description and throwing us a buck or two for this holiday season.
Call it a gift.
Call it a gift. But with that, this has been another episode of Never Seen It. I'm Betsy.
And I'm Trent.
And we will see you next time.
Ho, ho, ho.